Rest in peace. And chill, because The Undertaker and The New Day are coming to Netflix. Yes, that is a real headline. Mick Foley has a warning for the WWE and so much more. It's all going down today on a highly interactive Sportskeeda Wrestling top story of the day, baby. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, everybody, watch out. Share the link or you stink. You know what's up. I am Kellam, yelling in Chicago, down there in the state that is shaped like a certain part of the male anatomy, Mr. Jose G. Keeping it bald and beautiful, baby. Lots to get into today. We have Undertaker news. We have New Day news. Mick Foley throwing a real shot. A lot of people throwing shots at WWE now. You can't just say AEW had a good show. You have to say that AEW had a great show. WWE's done. like that. That's basically been the reason. Like, what's the problem? It's the recent problem. Everyone's recency problem is that. We'll get into all of it. Share the link. Get in the screen with us. Get on screen. Let us know what you think here. If you're a new viewer, let us know what you guys think as well. A lot of people joining us for the first time all over the world. If you haven't done already, go ahead and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Over 20,000 strong, baby.
Tons.
We just dropped a bunch of new top 5 videos as well. If you haven't watched those, we have some really, really cool top 5 videos. Hundreds of thousands of people watching those on Facebook. Let's see if we can try and get thousands to watch them on YouTube. That'd be great.
I've been urging them to keep subscribing and smashing that notification bell to help us get to 30,000, because that's our next goal. We need to get to 30K quick, Kevin.
30K quick. Lot to get into today. Plenty of content as well on the channel with Vince Russo covering Monday Night Raw. He had a lot to say about Monday Night Raw, which I thought was an upgraded show. It was a very, very compelling show. I love the tag team turmoil match. They did some interesting things. Karrion Kross is a monster, but no one's yelling about it anymore because he got hit with.
Everybody got over it. Everybody got over it.
Yeah, John Morrison taking a back body jump over the turnbuckle and over the ring.
That was insane. That was kind of insane.
That was a really good squash match. I really enjoyed that here. And some development, some really cool stuff. I didn't think this was an awful show, but certainly I didn't watch it live. So it was a little bit easier on the Hulu cut. Maybe that's why. Whole other story. We'll get into it here. Good Monday Night Raw. A good Monday Night Raw, an amazing AEW All-Out. Wrestling is cool. But The Undertaker, there's rumblings and rumors of The Undertaker, all right? We will talk about those rumors, but none of those rumors we can say are, like, completely, validated at this moment. But we'll talk about this one that's confirmed from Netflix, one of the biggest streaming services in the world. WWE, they have partnerships with everybody. They're on Fox. They're on NBC Universal. Their WWE Network is on Peacock. But they still have this side deal for these collaborations with Netflix. And they have an upcoming interactive horror film starring The Undertaker and The New Day, and The New Day get trapped in The Undertaker's haunted house.
Yeah, man. I'm excited because Halloween is actually one of my favorite holidays of the year. It's the only time of the year that you can dress up like a total idiot and you can totally get away with it. But this actually is going to be pretty cool. If you guys are fans of the Black Mirror series or any of those interactive shows that Netflix has, this is going to be one of them. So The Undertaker and The New Day, Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, and Big E are going to be starring in a movie that will be co-produced not only by Netflix, but also by WWE Studios, and is going to be called Escape the Undertaker. We do have some stills here to show you guys of what this is all about. But yeah, so this actually kind of broke out a little bit earlier today by Bloody Disgusting on Twitter, which they broke the news about the movie being on Netflix on October 5th. Basically, the plot of the film notes that it sees The Undertaker setting up a trap for the New Day in his haunted mansion, and the viewers will get to decide the fate of the New Day while they go through the house. So this is something pretty cool, something really neat. There's The Undertaker kind of doing surveillance in his own place, and then you got the New Day there finding The Undertaker in the haunted house. So, Halloween's right around the corner. What a way to get into the Halloween spirit. But this is a cool little project for The Undertaker to do outside of the ring, do some movie stuff, do some
and he gets to be the Undertaker.
More theatrical, and he gets to be The Undertaker. So yeah. I'm actually really looking forward to this. I was just having a conversation with Mike from the social media team earlier, and him and I are on the same point. I am looking forward to seeing this.
Now it could be bad, like it could be hokey.
It could be bad.
Yeah,
most of WWE studios are bad. I mean,
there's a couple of gems in there. There are a couple like hidden gems in there.
Most of them are bad. Kevin. Most of them.
But WWE did like a really fun Halloween special a few years ago with Matt Hardy. That was really, really goofy and over the top. I wouldn't mind this if this was just goofy and over the top, and Undertaker kind of like plays quiet, spooky Undertaker, and the New Day just kind of like runs around like it's a Scooby-Doo thing with a little bit of seriousness. And you have some cameos in there. You're gonna have some cameos that pop up in there. I'm on board with this. More fun spookiness. I'm on board. As I get older, I just kind of enjoy horror movies. I don't dress up. And like around this spooky season, as the young working class goths call it, I enjoy it. I'm about it. This season is more than pumpkin spice. Let's all bow down to the Undertaker.
Well, that too, and make sure you consume plenty of pumpkin spice.
We have people saying defund WWE.
Oh God, please do
what
not.
A dork.
Why?
Ray, you're hanging out, man. You just texted in this comment, Ray. I'm not being serious with you, but I'm just goofing, dude. But that's just dumb. That's just dumb.
Wow. I don't know. What are your
Go ahead.
Now, what are your thoughts on this? Are you looking forward to this little B+ rated WWE Studios movie?
Yeah, but they've done a handful of these that aren't that awful. I can't remember the name of the movie. Obviously, how great is it if I can't remember the name of it? But like, there's some action movies they did where they were fun. The Marine stuff is goofy. Like, if WWE is going to do these, like, they don't look like a Sci-Fi Channel movie. It does look kind of cheap and made for TV. I'm surprised you never got those on the network.
They do well with horror. They do well with horror. They do. Though. Yes, they have done well with horror.
They made money. That See No Evil movie made money.
Not only just that one, but some of the other ones. I think there was one a few years ago.
Oculus.
It was about a possessed. Oculus was pretty good. There was another one about
Oculus was a movie they bought, by the way. Like, they didn't make that. They
still has the WWE Studios on it, so it's
they rolled the dice on it. They rolled the dice
exactly. So that wasn't too bad. So yeah, they do better when it comes to horror. Not so good when it comes to like action, or sometimes they could do like some comedies, but stick to the horror. I think they do better in horror.
There's been some pretty bad ones. Notice they never put those on the network. They never put those on you never got to see those.
Like, what was the one with Triple H that he was like a bodyguard or
there's
a
one they did with him. There's one they did where he was like the chaperone. Oh God.
Yeah, that one. Oh, terrible.
There's one they did with the Big Show where he's like has to go into like a fighting tournament or something like that, but he's like a lovable goof.
Was that the one with the Big Show?
Yeah, I love how we can't remember the names of any of these. Yeah. What was it called?
I forget, but there's one that the Big Show, Paul White, he goes into training and he goes into MMA and he becomes an MMA fighter.
Yeah, and it's pretty goofy and he's good in it, but the movie is just off, And a bunch of people sounding off on this. There is some other wrestling news about The Undertaker. And it is worth noting this is reported by Planetus Wrestling, which I'm taking no shot at them. We haven't heard anyone else really pick up the story. We have noted it and addressed it really as a rumor, and a lot of people think that this is a real thing. How would you feel about The Undertaker showing up this Friday night in New York City at Madison Square Garden, the biggest media market in the United States, the spiritual home of the WWE brand, Madison Square Garden, MSG, for an extra big SmackDown, which will also feature the WWE champion Bobby Lashley will be featured on the show. Becky Lynch will be on the show. Bianca Belair, Brock Lesnar, his first television appearance for the company in over 2 years. So this is going to be a big show. We're also getting John Cena untelevised. Apparently, he's supposed to be untelevised. So maybe we get him on TV. That isn't clear, but he has not been advertised for television at this time. He will be wrestling on that show. So does The Undertaker show up?
I don't know, man. I know the guys at Planeta Wrestling, and they always put out some pretty good stories and they're pretty much solid, right on the money. I have not heard from any of my other sources or any other outlets anything about The Undertaker being on SmackDown on Friday. If he does, I mean, cool, sure, that's fine. But honestly, as a fan, I'm kind of Undertakered out. I love The Undertaker, But last year, especially leading up into Survivor Series, every single day, every story was about The Undertaker for a month. And I had to do news stories on that every single day. So I think that the WWE bringing back The Undertaker for Friday Night SmackDown, it's almost like, how do I put this in delicate way? It's almost a person trying to get over an addiction and trying to go back for one more hit. Does that make sense?
A little bit, but I'll say this: The Undertaker didn't get to have his swan song in front of a crowd. And
that's true.
If The Undertaker is if anyone's deserving of a farewell in front of an audience, it's The Undertaker. And if The Undertaker comes out and it's just a cameo and he gives somebody a choke slam and that's about it, I'm okay with that. Like, if it's just a cameo and he comes out and he get the pop and that's all it is, and he's Cool Hand Luke and no matches teased.
Where do you fit him on Friday night, though? Where? What part
feed
of
him
the
a
show
goon.
do you
Feed him a goon. Just feed him a goon in the middle of the show.
And feed him Baron Corbin?
Yeah. Baron Corbin's out there.
Happy Corbin?
New York. Yeah. Just that's it. It doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to be a one-time thing. And guess what?
I mean, I guess that works.
And if he does it for the fans that are in New York City who are going to get Survivor Series in a few months, like, hey, we're going to try hard for you. We're going to remind you that we want to give you really special shows. And WWE has a fire under their ass to make special moments. The Undertaker's not going to show up in AEW. like The Undertaker, if he does show up anywhere, can show up in WWE.
Or may. I mean, I'm just joking. He'll never show up over there. He's a WWE guy. He's a Vince McMahon guy. Yeah, he will definitely be loyal. He is loyal to.
If he showed up in AEW, he'd be in the crowd. he'd be in a box watching the show. A lot of people with different takes here. Steven Chambers is on board with him chokeslamming the Baron Corbin. He's into it here. A lot of people with different takes here. They want to see it here. Here we go. Somebody saying that the Boogeyman is teasing a comeback to WWE. Boogeyman has teased a couple of comebacks to WWE. I'll believe it when I see it. That doesn't mean like dispelling what he's saying there as well. So there's all of that here, and other people saying this is all about the ratings. Sure, it's all about the ratings. Why wouldn't it be about? Of
course,
ratings?
it's always never
not. It's never not about the ratings to some degree or another. So I'm on board with it. It's just fun. I mean, if it's just something simple, then
if it's something simple and it's just kind of like a one-off type of situation, sure,
Yeah.
But I think the thing that happened with last year, building up into Survivor Series, that it was his 30 year, and it was going to be like his final farewell.
It just wasn't in front of a crowd.
But it wasn't in front of a crowd.
That was a really.
That's okay.
If they do something like that at Survivor Series, he doesn't have to wrestle. If he's just involved in a match, if they say the Undertaker is overseeing, is undertaking, Survivor Series, and they just say he's going to be involved with it. That's kind of interesting.
I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be involved with it. He doesn't need.
We
to
also
be
have Saudi Arabia coming up in October.
True. And Goldberg is still in the play there. So who knows?
And what do they do in Saudi Arabia? They want big name guys.
They want Yokozuna. They want Yokozuna in Saudi Arabia.
They want Yokozuna, who isn't with us anymore. Juan Gonzalez wants to see Undertaker chokeslam Logan Paul.
That might work.
I don't think you're alone in that.
That might work.
I think Logan Paul would take that check and be happy to do it. So a lot of people with and Philip, who always likes to hackle Baron Riccucino and say the word moist, that makes Rick moist.
Cringe. Moist.
It's just perhaps the Undertaker can get moist. Maybe the Undertaker makes people moist. You ever think about that?
I don't want to think about that, Kevin. I really don't. Well, with that note right there, let's move on to our second story here. How about we do that? Chris Jericho had an incredible final fight with MJF on Sunday night at All Out, and he issued a little statement regarding the whole storyline with MJF, saying that in his opinion, because this is him saying it, that this has been one of the best, most brilliantly told stories in the last 20 years. If he hopes that everybody enjoyed this pro wrestling magnum opus as much as they did telling it on to the next challenge. So clearly this storyline is over, but I would have to say, I'm going to have to agree with Chris Jericho. This was a brilliantly told storyline from the get when MJF snaked his way into the inner circle. Then we had the breakup. Then we had the awesome vignettes with Chris Jericho and MJF leading all up to, what went down on Sunday. So I'm going to have to agree. This was a pretty damn good storyline between the both of them. I always laugh when I see Jericho issue a statement about a story like he was involved in, because of course he's going to put it over. Sure. But you as a fan and being non-biased one way or another, which you've clearly stated in the past, what's your take? Is this one of the best stories told in the last 20 years? Yay or nay?
I mean, I don't want to say that's a stretch. Maybe we just need a little bit more time to get away from it because it just kind of happened, right? I'm not taking anything away from it. It's definitely one of the best stories that AEW's told. And AEW's told a lot of great stories. It's also worth noting that was a jam-packed show where the real headlines of that show were the big show-ups and big returns. Let's not forget you had some fantastic wrestling on that show. You know what I mean? Like, I know it felt like a Royal Rumble in terms of just who's coming out, and a lot of the show is kind of defined by who's coming out with Ruby, with Minoru Suzuki, with Daniel Bryan, with Adam Cole. I'm probably forgetting somebody at this point. And so I think you need to remember that this kind of tied up some storylines here. MJF can take the loss. The match was good. It was well paced. I don't think guys who are over a certain age, who aren't as fast as they were when they were younger, but can still have great matches, like the Undertaker, should go out there and wrestle matches. They don't have to wrestle at a pace. They don't have to work that cause problems, right? Do what you can do and do it well. And I think that Jericho has been very, very good, especially in the last few years, of modifying what he does and still having great matches. I think you saw that when he went to New Japan. I think you saw that in WWE. And I think you saw that with CM Punk as well. I think CM Punk and Darby Allin had a fantastic match. I think Punk had the best possible match he could have for not being in the ring in 7 years. And all that credit, I think, not to say all of it, but a lot of that goes to Darby. Darby did a lot.
Oh, absolutely. Darby
and also credit
to
MJF, hell of a heel. I mean, and because the point of that match is to get you to believe that Chris Jericho could get pinned and he's done in AEW. And there's not a lot of people that believe that. But if they got you to believe it for a second, then it worked. If they got you to believe. So when you heard those near falls in that match and people bought into it, then they were on board. It was a great match. There was so much in that stuff with the inner circle. I am of the thought, though, that they just stretched it out a little bit too long. Like there was just a little. I mean, if you want to bring out the tweezers there, but it's not.
Oh, Rick did it plenty of times on Sunday, but there wasn't a lot to nitpick on Sunday.
Victor Nash, he's texting here saying Lucha Brothers versus Young Bucks stole the show. Gonna agree with you there. I mean, you can talk about how great this story has been, and it has been a great story for AEW. It has been one of the better things they've had week to week for a long time here. But yeah, Lucha Brothers and Young Bucks stole the show. If you haven't seen the show, go seek it out. Get the replay on Fight TV. It's worth it. It's really, really fun show here.
We got a good question here from Christopher Ryan Cooper, CRC. Do you guys agree with Russo about AEW shouldn't have debuted both BD, Bryan Danielson, and Adam Cole on the same night as CM Punk's return match?
Yeah, you can check that episode of Legion of Raw out. Vince Russo having a lot to say about AEW All Out, and obviously sounding off on Monday Night Raw as he does every single week. That is up on our channel. And there's a lot of people that kind of said that too. It's another nitpicky thing, but I mean, like, look at all of the good currency that AEW has bought with fans now. And if you're a WWE loyalist who's on the fence, you cannot deny that they are competition. There was a time when I thought it would take AEW a while to be considered competition. And that was before the Wednesday night started. Once, they could own Wednesday nights and prove it, then the game changed. Once they could convince these people that, hey, take the risk with us, come over here. Yes, the money is real. The opportunity is real, that it was worth it. And that kind of leads us into this next story coming up here, is you have a legendary mind in the business. You have a mind that is widely respected within WWE and outside of it. A guy who did things for the wrestling business that have opened up the doors of people being able to sell books and do all this different stuff. He's literally one of the best wrestlers of all time and one of the most respected. And that is Mick Foley. Mick Foley had a lot to say about this.
He sure
on
did.
social media, and he is a WWE guy. Let it be known, he is a WWE guy. He's had an up and down relationship with WWE management, but he is a WWE guy. That is where he made his name and became a worldwide sensation for sure. But he has a warning for WWE. Can we play a little bit of this here?
Oh, absolutely. We got a story that he pretty much sent out a warning to WWE about AEW, I guess chiming in about what went down on Sunday night. And we do have the video. It's just a little bit over a minute long. Here we go.
Hello, this is the hardcore legend Mick Foley. I'd like to title this video WWE, We've Got a Problem, because I think you do. And that problem is that WWE is no longer the place for talent to aspire to. Part of it is because AEW is doing a great job of attracting great talent, proven talent, building other talent, creating storylines, but part of it is a problem of your own making. I think younger talent sees the way that developmental characters are cut or left by the wayside, or in the case of Karrion Kross, greatly watered down and even made a joke of when they debut on the main roster. It's not broke. Don't fix it. If I was an aspiring talent now, big league talent with a major decision to make, I'm not sure that I would trust WWE Creative to do the right thing with my career. You guys did wonders with me back in the day. That was a different time, different place. If it was today, I'm not sure I would trust the powers to be with my career in their hands. And until that changes, WWE, you've got a problem.
WWE, you've got a problem. I watched it earlier, but watching it again in the circumstance of how we're going to have people react to it. Let us know what you guys thought of that. If you haven't seen it, let us know what you think of it. Follow at Real Mick Foley, by the way. He is doing a really great live event tour coming through the Midwest. Going to be in Rockford at the Apollo Theater in Belvedere, Illinois, coming up on September 18th. Get your tickets for that. Great live show. Going to tell all of his amazing live stories. It's a very, very funny live show, by the way, too. Looking forward to checking that out here.
So we
interesting
got
comments.
Leo Hodgkins here reacting to the video. He's saying, I think Foley's right. AEW is more appealing than WWE. I love WWE and only recently started watching AEW, and I can honestly say AEW has the better product right now.
See, that's the title shift here. That's where you can start seeing those things here. And the interesting thing about this, that WWE have a problem, is it's a good thing for WWE. And I know this is a spin machine thing for me to say. I think this will inspire WWE. I thought this week's Monday Night Raw felt a bit more inspired to go with some things and dial some things in and not have anything kind of be loosey goosey. And let's use some horses in the stable that we aren't using. The tag team match was really, really good. That was some of the best tag team wrestling I've seen from WWE in a long time.
Absolutely. And sometimes you forget about how many tag teams are on one
good
brand
ones
compared to the other one. And they're good. We had 8 solid tag teams.
Yeah.
On Monday night. And what helped is anytime Monday Night Raw or SmackDown has either a tag team turmoil / gauntlet match, that's going to be a good night. Because anytime we can get the New Day running the gauntlet for 7 matches in a row, crazy to believe that, right? 7 matches in a row just to lose at the end against Bobby Lashley and MVP, which is okay. But whenever you see that, they actually had to stop the turmoil. They were like, okay, stop. Then we'll continue it as a main event. But I thought that was really good to do on Monday night because it really kind of kept the show going, because now you're at the half of that turmoil match. Like, okay, now I need to know how this is going to end. Stick around for the rest of the show. Watch the last hour. That's how you know it ended.
And I'm not saying that look what WWE did. No, they still got to do a lot more because fans are still talking about AEW. This is the closest we have ever gotten to WCW. This is within just a couple of years. But it's also worth noting that they're backed by a billionaire. They're backed by a huge, huge operation, and they can afford the talent, and they can afford the production, and they have the media distribution that makes it feel big time when you watch it. And they have all these different things that WWE has either said, all right, we're just going to do that in NXT, and we'll treat it like a little thing, but it's over here. and we'll do a pro wrestling show, but here's Sports Entertainment Monday at Raw and SmackDown. And for a sense of what WWE is doing, are they wrong? They just signed all these billion-dollar deals. I know I keep going back to them, but guys, that argument lines up. Like, Tony Khan is able to get the money together from the Khan family and the contracts with TV to go and do that thing because WWE signed billion-dollar TV deals within 3 months of each other, 2 separate ones. So then he's able to go, all right, well, the market's open now. There's gonna be more people that want to spend money on wrestling now, and I'm gonna swoop right in with some big name talent and come in with the timing that was there of Young Bucks and the Elite and Bullet Club and all those things hidden. So now it's spiraling over on a whole nother level of people's deals are coming up. Can you entertain me? Storylines aren't as good. Now it's, do the boys want to go there? I include the ladies in that. Where do the boys want to go? And here's the thing. AEW doesn't win. WWE really doesn't win.
We win. I've been saying this for years. We win. The fans win. Like this comment here from Victor Nash. Foley's right because September 5th is today the WWE died. and Victor Nash is not the only guy that feels like that. There is a plethora, thousands of you guys in the internet wrestling community that feel this way because they just have not been, they haven't been delivering what they want when it comes to the storylines from the WWE. People forget matches they had. People are forgetting that Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks had an incredible match at WrestleMania. People are forgetting things that they've already gotten from WWE. The pay-per-views for WWE, SummerSlam was fun. It wasn't the best show in the world, right? I thought All Out was a fun show. Yeah, All Out was a better show. All Out was like a WrestleMania level show. It was amazing, right? And SummerSlam, we had some really cool moments. It's fun, and AEW is a hot hand right now. Do not expect WWE to sit down and take this lightly. Do not. No, absolutely not.
And if you think they're not going to pull out the woodshed of star power and they're not going to do some big things on television, all right? I'm going to tell you this right now. They're going to do some things on TV that they have not done in a long time. You're going to get some pay-per-view payoffs on television in the next few months. I'm going to tell you that right now. Some storylines are going to get paid off. You're going to get some wild stipulation matches. They're going to try and make some appointment television. And I think the real response comes this Friday in New York City at Madison Square Garden. I don't think the real response from WWE is Monday night.
And in the end, again, who wins in this whole thing? Who wins?
Fans win, baby. Not the billionaires, baby. And there's nothing wrong with being a billionaire, spending a lot of money on wrestling. Vince McMahon has done it for decades. Tony Khan's been doing it here for a couple of years. It's a fun time to be a wrestling fan, all right? They can spend the money and we get to enjoy it, and we spend some money too. All right. You buy your fun. All right. And if the fun's worth it and it delivers, what's the problem? Right.
Exactly. When you got the billions, go ahead and put them in.
Absolutely here. A lot of things coming up here in the next few weeks here. Before we sign off, I want to get this interesting tweet. We have interesting people doing interesting tweets here. I know we didn't have this in our spreadsheet here. Right before I'm going live, I'm eating my grilled chicken sandwich at GT's Fast Food in Albany Park, Chicago. Right. And I'm eating there, and I'm just looking at my phone, trying to see, hey, something popping up at the last minute, and you and I are going to do the show. And Xavier Woods, always beating the drum of the New Day. He understands how to make noise with that trumpet. He understands how to get people's attention online. He's got the up, down, down video game channel. He knows how to work the web. He has beaten the drum of this thing that he wants in WWE. And he wants the crown. He wants to be the next king of the ring. Mm-hmm. And he's tweeted this out. He said it many, many times. Don't know if WWE is going to do it, but he's just, you say what you want to do in the world when you're a creative person, and maybe you get to do it. Maybe you don't, but you say you want to do it. And he's like, I want this one night King of the Ring tournament, not like spread out over weeks. He wants it one night. I want this tournament. Seems like he's busy with the tag team thing right now, which is still great. You're still in the New Day. That isn't bad. the merchandise.
He's on TV. He's on TV. How about that? How about that Outsiders merch? Yeah.
How about that Outsiders? They're going to have so much Outsiders merch that's going to come out. People are going to be buying it like crazy.
Beautiful.
What do you think of that? I know we're getting the Queen's Crown tournament, not the Queen of the Ring tournament. People got mad about that. How could they can't call it Queen of the Ring? Probably because they don't own the phrase Queen of the Ring. There's a possibility they don't own the. Phrase.
It could be a trademark issue, copyright issue. I'm all about it. I love tournaments. I want to see a King of the Ring tournament. I agree. I actually want this to be a 2-night tournament, a weekend tournament, Saturday and Sunday. Get all your badass matches, your quarterfinals and your semifinals. Have a couple of other matches around the final, and then your final match on Sunday. But yeah, I'm all about it. I always been an advocate for the King of the Ring. I want to see Xavier Woods be the King of the Ring.
I'm down for that. I'll get to this question here before we sign off. Tim Hardy says, who is the first to leave AEW for WWE? This is something kind of like just a question that kind of popped up in the last 72 hours as well. With so much talent, an exodus of big name talent from WWE in the last year over to AEW. Is this going to come around the other side? Sure, it's bound to. And I don't say that to piss off anyone who's an AEW fan. That's the open market, guys. That's the bed that AEW has kind of made now, with all that money outside of WWE going into it and really making primetime wrestling an affordable thing. It opens up the market a little bit more. It makes it a little bit more interesting. I'm gonna say it. There's gonna be a handful of guys from AEW. They're gonna sign with WWE in the next few years. I'm not saying they're gonna be huge names, but you get the look. You saw it with TNA for years. TNA Impact. People will be wrestling there, and WWE get to see you on television a lot. All right, come on in. AJ Styles. We're not gonna put you in NXT. You're AJ Styles. Come on in. You're gonna be in the top game. If I was WWE, who would you want? I know who I want. If I'm WWE, who do I want from AEW? I know. I'm gonna say a handful of names. Number one on that list is MJF. Number one. Heat getters make television in WWE. And there's some guys they have that make television. Doesn't mean they're top of the card, but they're on a lot of TV, and he gets a lot of heat. I would love to see him. What about you?
MJF is definitely up there. I was always imagining what Kenny Omega would look like with a WWE championship. I don't know if that will ever happen. Probably very unlikely in the next 5 years, but you never know. You never say never in WWE. I would love to see what Kenny Omega would do up against a Roman Reigns or up against a Seth Rollins. I think that could be very captivating.
Other people saying they'd love to see MJF or Pillman Jr. head over there. Pillman Jr. obviously has the legacy, back to some WCW stuff. So, yeah.
Oh, here's Jeff Samuel. I totally agree with Jeff Samuel. I would bring back Miro, but bring him not as Rusev, bring him back as Miro with
Miro
that
Day
persona.
Yeah, I'm down for that. There's a handful of people in All Elite Wrestling that are falling down the card that I think maybe they would be on more television if they were in WWE. So, Brian Cage, where are you? Guys like that,
he's a big meaty guy. I'm sure Vince McMahon would love to get his hands on that big meaty beefy guy.
Beef. Yeah, for sure. A lot of different things there. Thank you guys so much for checking out the show. Did you have a fun time? Go ahead and hammer that like button. All right, I can see how many of you are doing it. We got 69 people.
See what you did there.
Yeah. So if you can share the link so you don't stink, that'd be great. You guys can do that as well. Pass it on. Your wrestling groups, your wrestling Facebook groups, your wrestling pages, Reddits, all that good stuff. If you haven't done already, go ahead and subscribe to us as well on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, podcasts, all that good stuff on the audio tubes, as I called it. Unfortunately, yesterday I called it audio tubes.
You called it audio tubes? What are you, 43?
It audio tubes. I was stumbling on myself
tubes.
with the promos, like a complete dumbass. I called it audio tubes.
I'm like, right. What is that, Kevin? What's audio tubes? Is that a new application for audio and tubing?
It's a series. Remember that there was like a senator like 20 years ago that he was just an older guy who didn't understand the internet. I understand the internet is a series of tubes of information. It's just like, it's like a mailroom back in the 80s. Sure.
Ridiculous.
Thank you guys so much for supporting the show. If you had a good time, just share the link. That's all we ask. Follow Jose G on the Twitter machine at Jose_G_official. You can follow me at Kev Kellam, KEVKELLAM. I am on the radio 5 days a week. 104.9 The X in Rockford, WQLZ.com, down in Springfield, 97.7 QLZ. Oh, I might be doing something cool with Mick Foley in a few weeks. So we'll see what happens.
Awesome.
So,
maybe you can, when you interview him, maybe you can ask him to elaborate a little bit more on the video that we just talked about.
That'll definitely be a conversation. Don't make audio tubes a thing, Christopher Ryan Cooper. Can we not make audio tubes a thing? Let's not do that here. Yeah, please don't do that. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. A lot more news to follow. You can get it all at sportskeeda.com. That is sportskeeda.com. Download the app. It is available on Google Play and Apple. And remember, when watching wrestling, do the most important thing, which is what, Jose?
Guys, enjoy it.
Yeah.
We're the fans. We're the winners. Enjoy wrestling.
Yeah.